Hi guys, Shamian here. I am going to do a cuckoo demo for you all today. Right, for that you will need 4 cups or more depending on how much you are serving of corn flour or cornmeal, as we know it here in Trinidad. Is the fine one. Just show you. Use the fine one. I don't like the coarse one where it behaves in cuckoo, right? The bigger grain one is some more brilliant vibrant yellow, but I don't like the texture of it. If it's all you have, by all means use it. You're gonna need for that 4 cups of corn flour. You're gonna need about 15 okras, or okra as it is known in the international world. I have a blend of parsley, parsley was just a little bit I used, right? Because I don't really like green seasonings in my cooking. This is my recipe, by the way, and my method. This is some parsley, some pimentos, red of course, and there we have onions also. This is some Maggi all-purpose taste maker. It is the best blend of all-purpose seasoning there is, so if ever I'm using seasoning, it's always Maggi. I gravitate towards it because the color, everything is nice, right? It will change the color of whatever you put it in. And this is some granulated sugar, or white sugar as it is known here in Trinidad, and of course my coconut milk. Shredded carrots, because I love to see the carrots coming through in the cuckoo. So I'm about to start now, right? You're gonna need a dish of soup, whatever amount you are making. I already have that there, and some non-stick spray. If you don't have non-stick spray, I will be using organic olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, non-stick cooking spray. That's what I'll be using, okay? If you don't have non-stick spray, use butter or some simple oil, whichever oil you have on hand. I will suggest olive oil because the fragrance and the taste is pretty somewhat overpowering at times, so I use that only strategically for certain things, right? So I'm getting it. Get your vegetable oil preferred corn oil or canola for this. Get it in your pot, right? Let's let it go a little bit. You all see me do this method all the time, and I've explained on a lot of other demos, previous demos. If you are new, this is the way to get the seasoning really incorporated flavor, intense flavor into whatever you are cooking. The kitchen smells just lovely. I'm going to add the okra. This stage, no need for your seasoning to go too long, right? Or okra, right? There is nothing like cooking with fresh seasonings. I hear me say it all the time, and I absolutely mean that, because the scent is just amazing, and you always get good tasting food when you do this. If it was not cuckoo I was making, you would have seen me reserve some for after it was finished cooking. I do that because sometimes seasoning tends to cook off, right? So at this stage, I will add about half of this finely shredded carrot, not too much. Just want to see it coming through pretty when the cuckoo is ready finished. If you are not a carrot lover, you can skip this step, but I said I like to see coming through, right? So just let it go for just a little bit, and then we're gonna start adding our milk. I'm gonna put a bit of just a small amount of sea salt, because for the amount of corn flour that I'm gonna use, the Maggi won't be enough. On the tasting spoon, they are equivalent to about a tablespoon. I can tell you that. I'm just looking at it, okay? The kitchen always smells this good whenever I'm doing cooking. The scent is amazing. Right? This is how much sea salt I'm going to use. It's coarse, of course, sea salt. I'm going to add the coconut milk at this stage. So you see the texture that we have, how it's sticking to the pot and everything. About here, because the okra or okras is fully it's sauteed, right? Gonna add all that milk. That probably was about 3 cups of coconut milk, 3 to 4 cups, right? Because the jug or the mug wasn't full to the extreme. I'm going to put the sugar at this stage. Don't overdo it with the sugar, please. If you have brown sugar, by all means, go ahead and use it. The color of the sugar isn't important. It's just the right amount for this measurement that I'm using. Don't go over with that because you're going to end up with really sweet tasting cuckoo on your hands, and you don't want that whatsoever. I'm going to add that 1 tablespoon or so of that's just 1 tablespoon of my Maggi all-purpose. I'm just going to leave it to go. So at this stage, you want to leave it until the okra is fully cooked. Right? You know okra, or okras as it is known in Trinidad, it bubbles, it comes right up to the point of almost like it spills over a lot of times. So please monitor it. And you don't want it to go for longer than about, you see brilliant color we have? You don't want it to go for longer than about, I will say don't let that cook for more than 10 minutes. At that stage is good, right? Like honestly, because when we think about the other ways we do okra back here in the Caribbean, we don't like for instance fry okra, it is not a fry okra demo, I'm just saying. We don't even add water and yet it is cooked perfectly. So it doesn't need much cooking, it's just tender thing, the okra. So just let it go for about 10 minutes like I said. I'm going to show you guys at which stage you want to start adding your corn flour or corn meal. And of course you guys will see how the texture that you should look for and so forth and so forth, because I will be showing you all a step by step. You all know when I'm doing the demos or the videos, I go in detail, I go in depth, right? Traditionally we don't put any veg or any such thing in our cuckoo back here in Trinidad. We keep it just the way I did it there, right? I don't know if anybody starts it the way I started it. That's why I say it's my method. I've been using this method for as long as I can remember being someone that cooks, and I have been cooking since the age of 12 years old. I am now just a bit over my mid-30s, for those of you that want to know, right? So, you see how it's boiling up there? That's what we are looking for. It's already, that's why I say 10 minutes is good. Food don't need to be overcooked to be enjoyed. It doesn't need to be undercooked either. You must always have this nice balance, right? So I'm going to stir it one more time before I cover it. But like I said, monitor it, because you know it always tends to spill over once it's covered, right? You see how it's already sort of like foamy kind of, you know. So just monitor it. It looks just beautiful. Just keep looking at it. Keep looking at it. I'm going to let it go for the 10 minutes. Right? You see I'm not covering the pot snug. I'm not doing that. Even though there's vent, I am doing like this. So we won't have that spillover that I spoke to you all about. Right? Because you're going to hold stove a mess, and besides the stove being a mess, you're going to lose a lot of your flavor once that happens. Right? Because when you come and it's all dissipated or so forth, the liquid, what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to add unflavored water in your pot. So monitor it a lot, as I was saying, because you want all your rich flavors in there. The starter is always it, and you know we go from there. So this is what we have. We are just waiting for okra or okras to cook. And from there, we are going to start adding the corn meal, as it is known in Trinidad, or the corn flour, as it is known in the wider world. Right? So this is the starter for always amazing cuckoo. Right? It's always how I start it. It always gives perfect results. So, so far so good. We are going to, of course, I will show you guys the method into getting it combined into the liquids and so forth, and the molding part of things, which might be the most intimidating part for a lot of persons, and even the texture, what texture I should go at if I want perfect cuckoo. I don't want it too stiff, I don't want it too runny. Some of you might have those questions for me. I'm going to show you how. But there's a difference, I will say now, as we are this early into the demo. If you are in a hurry to eat your cuckoo, you're going to have to make it from the very start, when you are incorporating it, full. You don't want to make it moist if you are in a hurry to eat or serve it. You want it, usually when I make it, it can be, you see what's going on here? Kind of volcano action, that's what I was speaking about. That's why you want to monitor whenever you're cooking also. Usually when I make it, I am able to serve it immediately after I make it, because I don't put too much of liquids in it. So I'm going to stir it right? I'm gonna stir it, and then you guys, so you guys are seeing. I know there is a lot of things about for to know when the okra or okras are fully cooked. The seeds must be pink and all of that. That's long time stuff. That's stuff from long ago. It isn't necessarily truth. How often you see when someone coming away from this demo a bit again? How often when someone cooks callaloo now in this time and age in Trinidad, we see pink okra seeds or okra seeds in the callaloo? Come on. So it doesn't necessarily have to be pink for you to know it cooked, right? So as I said, I'm going to show you a perfect texture for it, right? And we go from there. You just have a couple of minutes to go again before we start adding the cornmeal. So guys, this is where our okra reach for our cuckoo, right? So I'll take it, the coconut milk is now, right? So this is at the stage, it is at the stage where I want to start adding the cornmeal or corn flour bit by bit. You see how it looks? It's rich and nice. That is going to set the pace for how our cuckoo turns out. The starter is very important because once you start it, there is nothing you can do once you start adding the cornmeal or corn flour to fix anything. Not salt, not seasonings. That's it once everything gets added. So you will need a whisk, not electric. You will need a traditional whisk, right? You need this, that's what the stick won't put, right? And you start going bit by bit, right? Only thing at this stage, turn down your fire. You want your fire really low at this stage, right? It smells just lovely, right? So gently we're gonna start adding. I'm already adding. You see what's going on. You have to work brisk with this. You can't afford to stop when you start. You have to go brisk, really brisk, right? Just be careful because it's okra and you know how that behaves. Really, really brisk. Alright, it is still too runny. You see how free it's moving, so I'm going to keep adding. I'm adding it in portions and bits for a reason. You can't just dump everything in there. You won't be able to maneuver properly and then it's going to turn into lumps. That's what you don't want. Alright, you see the nice vibrant yellow that we have? You just want to make sure that it don't have any lumps in it. That's the purpose of the whisk, so the stick won't be able to do this job. Right? I'm going to add just a little more. I don't want my cuckoo too firm or too moist. Right? Pot is doing a bit of dancing at this stage, that is expected. You have it in a flat pot on the stove and a whisk is going in the inside of the pot movement with rapid movement. So you want to expect that at this stage. Right? You see how it forms a ball in the whisk already? Like about that, that's when you know that you are where you need to be. Right? You will have to get out somehow, find a way to get it out, whether it's using a fork or so, find a way to get out your cuckoo out of your whisk. It's going to stick, of course. Right? So this is the texture that I always have my cuckoo at. I don't go dry it for a reason, and it's able to cut immediately. Right? You see what's happening in the pot there already? Anything we do to it at this stage is going to take the mold and the shape of it. This is where, so I did not use all 4 cups of that. Right? I used 2 and something. Right? But this is going to serve a couple of persons well, because when we mold it, it depends on the size that we do. However we want it, we slice it, right? I may show you guys, I use 2 cups to be exact. Let me spray my dish, right? Let me just spray my dish with my organic olive oil, right? So I want you all to see that texture though before I start molding anything. Let me do a close up on the spatula for you all to see. Right, so this is what we have. You see how it's moving. It didn't give me any trouble to move from there at all. effortlessly. The color is brilliant. You are seeing all the orange, red pimentos and the pieces of the bits of shredded, finely shredded carrot coming through. Right? That is what you want. You just double up on your recipes if you are cooking for more persons. This could feed about 5 persons depending on their appetites very easily. I'm just gonna spray my dish, okay? Just gonna spray my dish. So this is what I'm gonna use to mold it. It depends on my mood, but I'm gonna use just this to mold it today. Give it a good spray because of course you want it to release without mashing up whatever form you put it in. Right? So just give it a good spray. It's gonna make the difference in how it releases. Right? You don't want to take too long with getting it into its mold either because of the texture I have it here. As I said, it can be whenever I make it, it's always that it can be used immediately, served immediately, not used, served immediately. There is no drying time. And it's not too dry either. I'm sure you are seeing the level of moisture we have in there. It's not a dry cuckoo because I added the cornmeal how I did, or the corn flour how I did, right? It's just the perfect size, so the amount of my bowl or mold. It's a bowl, but again we are using it for molding it. It's a perfect size bowl for the amount of corn flour or cuckoo that I use, which is 2 cups, right? So I'm just going to show you all of the things, smooth it up and so forth and so forth. It's hard, be careful. So at this stage you just want to I know persons who use it and they do it into a ball, right? A bowl, like an actual bowl. If you don't like okras or okra and you want to make this, just use less okra, but it is very necessary because then it won't really be a cookie, you know. Just probably use about 4. If for some reason it scratches your throat, there are a lot of reasons why persons don't like things. If you're allergic, well, I don't think it would really be the texture of a cuckoo, it might be more of a polenta. Right? So you all are seeing what I'm doing, which is just making sure it's level. Level. Food isn't hard to do, you know. All I'm doing is making sure it is already set. Right? Long ago when they made this, you had to wait for like hours before someone could have a serving of it. And yes, the okra season, that 10 minutes cooking period, is a pale pink. As I say, turning pink is not important. And then when you cut it up and it's that fine, it goes by even faster. I will suggest, if you are going to leave this before serving it, for it not to dry out at the top, you need to put some margarine or butter on the top here. Right? Because I'm going to serve it immediately, because if you don't do that, whether it's a hot day or a cool day, dry season or rainy season, it's going to dry out and get crack lines at the top. You don't want that. So put your butter to prevent that. Right? Because I'm going to serve it immediately, I am not going to do that. And I'm going to zoom in for you to see the brilliant sheen that it has. Just going to do a zoom in. So it wasn't it easy, guys? Yes, it was. I told you all my goal with these cooking demos, food by Shami and Gold, apart from serving healthy stuff, is to make the video aspect of food by Shamian, social media aspect of it, is to take off all the intimidation out of food, be it international or local foods. It is to make it as easy as possible so that persons will be able to say, okay, I could give that a try, and I keep my ingredients at a minimum for a reason. Right? It's on purpose that I don't add too much of stuff in whatever I'm doing. I try my very best to keep it at a minimum, and I try to improvise if I'm doing pie and decor for something, to use something that is readily available for everyone that we could access it. Right? You all see how fast it went by? It went by pretty fast, and this is in real time. Me taking it out of the pot and getting it into the mold or the bowl is in real time. Like I said, I won't be adding butter because I am going to serve this now, right? So this is how easy it is. I will have to cut it to show you guys the texture on the inside of it, because some persons might be worried about it being grainy and so forth and so forth. It isn't. It's the most tender thing you will ever imagine. It literally melts away in your mouth. My cuckoo, when I make it, it melts. It literally melts. Right? So it's beautiful enough as it is here now. We have a level top, right? And I'm just going to cut it and put a piece on a serving plate by itself, right? For you all to see what we have. I said a serving plate. Forgive me, I meant a tasting plate. I'm just going to put this on a tasting plate. The tasting plate is used for just that, for tasting. It's a very small plate, very neat plate. Right? In Trinidad, we serve cuckoo with a number of things, as you all know. If you are not a Trinidadian, you don't know anyone with Trini roots, what we serve cuckoo with is fish of any kind, fry or stew, peas of any kind, but it's mostly served with callaloo and fish. Right? That's how we serve it back here in Trinidad. Right, so now that I have my tray, my tasting plate, I'm just going to slice it to show you all the texture of the inside of it and get it on. It's really nice with callaloo, and it's not an overkill of okra or okras when you serve it with callaloo. You don't even imagine or taste all that okra in there. No, it doesn't go that deep. Right? You don't. You can't spray your knife because remember it's okra. You see, you're seeing a brilliant color, right? You can't spray your knife. Because you don't want it to keep sticking up, right? You all see how effortlessly the knife went through that, right? I'm not fighting with it. Sometimes when times that gone by when I had it and it was broad, it was just too firm for my taste. Also, what I have observed too, someone who likes to cook and so forth, I don't really eat out, is that the light in these buffet style places and food court dries out the food. I don't know if the owners are aware of that, but it does. I'm one person that is against that. I don't really like that. Because the food stays there for hours and then it starts to dry. It starts drying out. So you guys saw how easy the knife run through that and whatever, right? I think I'm going to need my spatula for it. I had a pie silver, but it's a little too narrow for what I want. Right, so I'm going to use my spatula. Again, tools is everything. You don't want to use something that will mash up your nicely molded cuckoo. Right, what some persons will do, they will actually turn it over onto a flat surface to give them a lot more control of it, right? It's hot, of course, it's like super hot. So what I want to do is super hot, so we will expect it to still be a little moist on the inside, right? I told you all this in real time. So if you're serving it on something like this, you're presenting it on something this small, it's going to have to be like in dice, in cubes, right? It's still moist on the inside. Remember, it's real time we went buying, right? We didn't go buying like editing and so forth. So we have it being very moist on the inside. I'm going to do a shot for you all to see. It's not mashing up, don't be alarmed. From the time the air hits it, it's going to be perfect. Let me do a close-up for you guys to see. Alright, this is what we have. I'm going to zoom in on that for you guys. This is what we have. This is the texture of it. It isn't too hard and it isn't too soft. You see the brilliant color we have? This is what we have with it. But as I said, it's hot, so it's still in the center because I molded it. But in about 5 minutes, it's going to be perfect, standing on its own. So this is what we have with it. Let me just put down this on the board. Right? This is what we have. Also, I know of persons that fries it. Once it stays, they will fry it. If there's any remainders or leftovers, they'll fry it. it's a basic one until it's golden in color. So this is what we have. It's quite moist and nice. I'm going to do a zoom in, right? This is what we have. Absolutely perfect cuckoo. You guys saw how easy it was, right? You guys saw how easy it was. It's just warm, so it's looking like that in the bowl, in the mold or the bowl. And the good thing with it is when it's still warm, you can just get it back up. So you guys saw, right? Start to finish. Right? So guys, that's my way of doing cuckoo always. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed putting together for you all. The business, Food by Shamion. It's on YouTube, of course, on our channel. It's on Instagram under the same name, Food by Shamion. It is on Facebook, and we have an email account. I have an email account for it, which is foodbyshamion@gmail.com. My first name is spelled CHAMION, but it is all capital letters for email address, of course. So guys, it was my pleasure. It really was. If you have anything that you might want to see me do, feel free to comment below, and I will reply in a timely manner. I guarantee you that I will reply in a very, very, very timely manner. Thanks for the love and support, and until then, I'll be with you guys. Bye.